Hello and welcome to the Yarnings Podcast. I'm Christine and I'll be your host. This is episode 40, Christmas Eve. It is Tuesday, December 23rd, hence the name. It is cloudy, rainy, about 48. About the same it was last week, but a little more rain, so we certainly aren't going to have a white Christmas, but it definitely feels normal Washington weather for us. So I wanted to come and chat with you guys for a bit, even though my craft office is a little on the disorderly side. There's been a lot of blocking and present wrapping and everything else going on in here. So the areas you can't see, like on the top of my standing part of my desk, also have quite a bit of yarn-related items on them. Not for show today, but things that are in the works for the future. I'm knocking things over already. Every time. So let's move into some life stories. So this last week was my husband Eric's birthday week. We did a bunch of small celebrations between other activities. It's a busy time of year, and so it's always fun to work around the planned activities to try and find time to celebrate as well. We had a couple good restaurant outings. I made him homemade pizza. He got some fun gifts. One of them I'll talk about in Geekery. And I got him a tabletop shirt, which is also a Board Game Geek thing. So we spent quite a bit of time just hanging out and trying to get the pre-Christmas things done throughout the week. I did have a migraine for several days and that slowed me down, and so I got a little behind, but whatever gets done, that's what needed to get done. I am trying not to stress too much about it, and it's tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and I'm just counting the joys in my life still, and trying to be content with what I am capable of doing this year and go from there. So yeah, life stories, not too much to report. Just birthday celebration for Eric, Christmas prep, stuff we'll talk about in other segments. So let's move on to the yarnings. So, Adventures in Knitting. I finished blocking my color affection. It blocked out wonderfully. There are still ends, but the little poochiness with the orange is totally gone. The ends are curling up nicely how I like them. Yeah, it blocked out really nice. And I really did have to be creative in how I laid it out. There really wasn't enough space in here, but I am really excited to wear this. I was going to wear it over top of my custom fit sweater on Christmas Eve, but I'm not sure. I need to try it on because I haven't tried on that combination. I was just hypothesizing in my head how it might work. So that I just wanted to show you that because it was much closer to being done. Just those ends need to be woven in today still. So I had quite a bit of a blocking party because I finished two other things that are not really able to be shown yet, but I'll just show you a glimpse. Wow, that was my tape measure making that noise. It came back undone. So I'll just show you the little edge on there. This is the test knit that I'm doing for Julia Wee Sheep, and it is done now. And this is a cowl that I'm designing. Cool lining inside. And I will show you more when I'm ready. Not quite ready yet. Designing something a few weeks before Christmas is hard because I don't have quite the right amount of brain space to actually do any of the finishing work as far as getting it written down and published. So it's done. It's beautiful. I blocked it and it came out even better. And I have the yarn setting out to make a second version with different colors. So that will be coming. Okay. Oh, there we go. I wrote some things out of order on my list this week. So, of course, then I also have, I posted on Instagram the other day that for my Grinch along, which is Knit More Girls Knitting for Yourself challenge for Christmas. For my Grinch along, I was putting a rainbow on it because the two projects that I brought with me to the library on Thursday were both very rainbowy. So first one's first, Neon-tastic socks. They are, I think, an inch, maybe a little less away from needing heels. They're coming out so much fun. I'll let you see the little pattern detail a little better there. This is just my own creation, but it might get published at some point. And they have been lots of fun. They have mainly been bus knitting. This week I don't have any busing, so they haven't gotten any love yet. And then my daybreak. Let's see, did I end in the middle of a row? Nope, I'm good. My daybreak also got some love. Let's see how many stripes since last time I wrote down how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I only got to 10 stripes, and I think last time I wrote down 9. So I did work on it a bit. It felt like I worked on it a bit on Thursday, but I guess I was working on other stuff. So daybreak shawl. This is patterned by Stephen West. The yarn is Sheep Dreamery and Highland Handmaids by Fruju. And the Neon-tastic is Manos del Uruguay Alegria. I'm not sure how you say it. And those will have fish lips, kiss heels. So I shall continue my Grinch along during this holiday week and put a little more love into my rainbows. I showed you just the very beginning last week of what I was working on when the show started. This is the Rickie Hat. You can see the little bit tighter gauge on the bottom up till about there. That's on smaller needles, and then I switched to the bigger needles, and I am quickly running out of yarn, so I'm not going to go too much further. It's not going to be as slouchy of a hat as called for, because I didn't have a full skein. I was just seeing how far I could make it work, but I think even if I wear it like this, I think it's still going to close on the top. So, and if it doesn't, I will give it to Leah, and she has a little smaller head than me, so there's that. I fully intended to knit on this during The Hobbit, and we didn't end up going to see The Hobbit. My migraine was just still kind of icky, and I just wasn't sure about the loud movie theater. So then I was just going to save it and wait and knit on it next week when we go see it. But then we went and played games. And so I wanted something to knit on then. So I'll have to think of something else for Hobbit knitting. And that's all good. So I'm really enjoying that. That's almost as mindless as the Sockhead hat, and it's bigger yarn, so it makes it go even more quickly. This is Socks That Rock heavyweight, so it's the DK Socks That Rock, and yeah, so that goes nice and fast. Whereas the Sockhead hat is fingering weight. So the Rickie Hat is patterned by Sarah Young and it's a pattern from Happy Knits here in Portland. Okay, and then let's see if I can do this without bringing the giant yarn balls over here. I cast on my sweater out of my Briar Rose, which the thing's still here, Briar Rose Abundance. I have 2 balls of that sitting behind me, ginormous. And I cast on. I did my swatch when I talked to you guys last time. And it was a little denser than I wanted it to be after blocking, even the smaller needle size. And the thought of a cowl, it's slightly scratchy. I'm afraid that the cowl would not drape down nicely because of the denseness. And this was on sizes 10 and 10.5. So I did another swatch on, are these 11s or 13s? These are 11s. I did another swatch on 11s. It's a little more drapey. You can see a little more, what's the next side? A little more air through it. But it feels really nice. It's still scratchy, and so I decided I'd find something that was not going to be quite so close to my neck. This is after all of my decision last week, my indecision. But, so I went looking on Ravelry based on the gauge that I got. So, the stitches per inch that I liked, I went searching for patterns that used that gauge. And I found one that was actually in my queue. This is a slight modification on the Emmeline pullover, which is by, I don't remember who the designer is, but it was in Knitty. And see, there's little eyelet details up there. It is an empire waisted piece with kind of puffy sleeves. So I'm calling it my Regency because it's purple, so it's royal, and it's kind of Regency era with the empire waist. So I'm doing something a little different. I've made some adjustments for my size. I'm doing a waistband with an interesting panel on the middle of the front and the back. And I think I'm liking how it looks, but I only did that this morning, and so I need to knit a little bit more and make sure that it turns out okay. It's a more unusual flowery stitch. So the next step that I need to do, because I'm kind of customizing this for how I want it, is I'm going to do some increases right here in the front to kind of give it that dressy look of being a dress, and then I'm going to knit down. I think I'm going to do some ribbing up the side just for a little visual interest, maybe some little cables with that, and I'm really looking forward to knitting on this week. This will be a fun thing to knit on while I do fun things with Eric, because after this point, once I get the increases and the markers all set up, it's going to be easy schmeezy. So this is my new sweater, and I have plenty of yarn, so if I wanted to, I could try and make 3/4 sleeves or something along those lines. If it looks like that would be good. I really do like the puffy short sleeves in the pattern. So yeah, it took a few starts to get going on this, but I'm really enjoying how quick it's going, because the gauge that I ended up getting that I'm liking is 12 stitches over 4, so 3 stitches to an inch. So it's going nice and fast. I will always wear this with something underneath it, so it's not touching my skin. That's not a problem. I generally wear camis and stuff under things anyhow. So that's my big work in progress going on. And then I have needle adjacent. I have tape stuck to my shawl. Needle adjacent, the yarn that I got for a test knit from Knit Picks, and the other version of the cowl I was working on, my design. And I did add some new things to my queue this week. The queue's above you guys. So I added Vintage Highway by Vera Valimaki. She released that this week as part of her 25 Days of Advent or something like that on her blog. 100 Days of Rain, 100, I don't know. Vera Valimaki, you can look her up. And the pattern is called Vintage Highway, and it's a cardigan with raglan sleeves, and the bodice is garter stitch on either side of stockinette sleeves, and it looks really cool and simple and just really basic and pretty. And I wish that I had some sport weight yarn in my stash to cast it on, because it looks so versatile. It looks like something that I could wear at home and enjoy. Not just a fancy sweater to only wear out, because I really don't have very many house sweaters. I have a couple that I've been wearing that are old sweaters, but it would be really nice to have something to wrap myself in that I knit. So that's the first one in my queue. I also added Lead Light, which is from Twas Collective. I hadn't had a chance to look at the Twas Collective that came out during Thanksgiving week, and it had some really pretty stuff. The one that caught my eye the most was called Lead Light, and it is color work and cables mashed together. And again, if I had sweaters quantity of DK weight yarn in my stash, I would so be all over that. My stash is pretty lacking in things other than, well, fingering I have the most of. Worsted weight I have some, but DK and sport are much far and few between. So those are things I might look for in the future, in the coming year, to try and find some stuff for those. I also queued the Tariel socks from, I think it was the last Knitty. They are a Hobbit theme, and Toriel is the character that was added for the movie. She's not in the actual books, but she's played by Evangeline Lilly, who was Kate on Lost. And I loved the addition of her. I loved her on Lost, so that seemed like a really, and I love the gothic pillar kind of effect that the designer got out of the design. So if I could find a really nice semi-solid in my stash, I might cast those on at some point soon. Soon-ish, maybe. I do have some more needles than I had before. So, all right. I think that brings us to the end of Yarnings. I do hope to get my spindle out this week and do some spinning over the Christmas days. That would be lots of fun. Okay, Sagas of Geekery. Board Game Geek stuff. So this week we played Trajan on Tuesday when I made Eric his Christmas enchiladas. No, pizza. It was his pizza night. We had enough time to sit down and play a game, and because it was celebrating his birthday, I made him pick. And he wanted to play Trajan, which is one of my favorites anyhow, and so that was great. And then another night we played Castles of Mad King Ludwig. And this is the new game that he got from his brother for his birthday. And it is a castle building game where you are picking castle rooms to make the most awesome castle for this crazy king. He, in real life, Mad King Ludwig is the one who designed the Sleeping Beauty castle. The castle that Sleeping Beauty, I can't think of what it's called. It's a big fancy name it starts with an N. But it's the castle that Sleeping Beauty Castle is based on. So he designed a bunch of crazy castles. And so you are taking different rooms, putting them together. You get points for things being next to certain things, like you don't want your theater next to your bedroom and stuff like that. And so as we were playing, I kind of told a story about the queen who must live in this castle because I had a queen's bedroom, and one of the first things she built was a bottomless pit. So if you want to see my silly story, that was up on Instagram this week. And then on Sunday, kind of on a last minute decision, we went ahead to Guardian for game day and played Factory Fun, which neither of us had ever heard of. Russian Railroads, Eric had played that before, but the instructions were only in Russian, so he just kind of had to look at the pictures and try and remember how to set it up. And then we tried out Legendary, which is the Marvel deck building game. And Rebecca, Engineers Falcon, had just talked about it. And so when I saw it, we sat back down. It was like, I want to try this out now. And so we did. And that was really fun. That was totally my kind of deck building game. More so than Dominion. This one was much less... I don't know. There's just something I liked about it. And I like Marvel characters. So that gave it all the more fun aspect to it. So that's something that I might pick up for myself at some point. For Sagas of Geekery in the entertainment area, we watched some Firefly instead of going to The Hobbit. Stay in where it was a little quieter. We watched The Muppet Christmas Carol, which I'd never seen. And I kind of expected them to bring a little more comedy into it than they did, but no, not as much as I thought they would. And then I restarted watching Lost, and I'm going to blame it on rewatching Scandal and seeing Desmond. And then thinking about Billy Boyd singing the ending of The Hobbit, and he played Pippin, and Dominic Monaghan played Merryweather, or I might have those backwards. And so then Dominic is on Lost, and then thinking about Kate on Lost, Evangeline Lilly is also on The Hobbit. So all those things, they all kind of came together in my head, and I thought, I'm going to rewatch Lost, because I haven't rewatched it for a very long time. In fact, I don't know if I've ever rewatched it other than the reshowings on TV. And so I saw a lot of it a second time, but not all of it. So this will be fun. It'll be a long-term project, obviously. There's a lot of seasons, but it's kind of fun. I'm 4-5 episodes in, so that will be fun. For Book of Cooking, I brought a prop today, besides my coffee. My coffee is a ginger spice. And I'm only saying that because it's Stumptown coffee. I added a little ground cloves into the coffee grounds. And then I put pumpkin pie, Torani syrup, and a couple gingerbread marshmallows on top. And it's really good. The other day I had mint coffee, peppermint coffee, and that turned out really good. But my props that I actually brought are the Christmas treats I've made already. So we've got a big soft ginger cookie. Don't worry, I'm touching these, but I'll eat them later. A big soft ginger cookie is what the all recipes title of it is. The thing I did different was I added some nutmeg, and what else did I add? Oh, cut up crystallized ginger. And then we put fancy sugar on the top of it. Turbinado, I think. Turbinado sugar, so it was a little more crystally. And Eric helped me make those, and that was lots of fun. And then I have little fudge bites. So these are fudge, and I poured them into little baby cupcake things. I have a little pan that they go in, a little muffin tin. And what I did was I found a recipe for peanut butter fudge. And Java Jenny had been talking about substituting Nutella in something instead of peanut butter. And I thought, I have Trader Joe's cookie butter. What could I substitute that in? So I found a recipe for peanut butter fudge. Instead of the peanut butter, I put in my cookie butter, which is sometimes called Biscoff or speculoos. It tastes like ground up ginger snaps for the most part. And then instead of regular marshmallows, I put little gingerbread men marshmallows. I'll try and put a picture up here of my poor little gingerbread men saying, "Don't cook me." And I added some additional spices into it. So both of these treats are both gingerbread fudge-ish, but that's okay. And then I have the cookie dough for shortbread sprinkle bites, which is my recipe, in the fridge right now cooling, and it doesn't have to chill, but I went ahead and made it before podcasting, so it was all ready, and then I could bake them afterwards. And I might actually frost them and make snowflakes on the top. We'll see. The sprinkles in them are pink and silver instead of something traditionally colorful. So that will be fun. And then on the meal plan, I've got spaghetti squash with meatballs tonight. And I'm planning Christmas brunch for Christmas Day. Christmas Day, I'll spend the whole day with Eric. We haven't done that since 2011, so it's about time. We're going to do biscuits and gravy and pancakes and eggs for brunch, and that will be lots of fun to cook together. I don't have fanciful chatter on here. Fanciful chatter, now wearing. This is my most Christmassy of my shawls because of the colors. So I thought I'd wear it today. I wear it all year round. I don't just keep it for Christmas. This is the Cladonia shawl, and I love it. I did some extra things to it. I don't know if I'll remember them all, but I'll put a link to my pattern page that has all that info in the show notes. I started it out with solid red and then moved into red and this beautiful silver and, I don't remember if it was silver and silk. It's a Huckleberry Knits colorway. I think it's her dragonfly color. And so then I started in on that, and then I added in a black. The red was Ravelry Red Malabrigo sock, maybe. The black was a stroll from Knit Picks. And then I'm picking hair off of here because that just happens in my house. And then I added beads because I found beads that matched the yarn, the sparkly yarn, beautifully. So in the eyelet section, there's the beads, and I did them down the lace. And then I went back to the multicolor for the edging, which is a little harder to see. And I just love it. It is one of my fancier creations. And it's nice and big because I did make it bigger than the normal size by having the two different colors that went in the stripes. But I think it pulled together really, really nicely. Somewhere up here. Let's see, there they are. I made, let's see if I can find, there's a hole in one of these. Okay, I made wristers that matched. This is the one without the hole. So they don't have thumbs, but they're just wristers with the same striping and the same lace and the beads on the lace, just one lace repeat. And I felt like a superhero wearing them. You can see the line where I striped it, but it's fine. This one must have gotten caught on something because there's a couple threads that are broken. It doesn't seem to be chewed at. It just seems like I got caught on something. So I need to fix it, but there's 3 different colors of yarn going on there. So I need to see if I can find any of those colors or else just patch it up so I can wear them again because they were so much fun. So that's part of my now wearing. I've also got on a stitch marker. This is a Knit Cubby stitch marker. Because when I wear this shawl, I feel like I'm fancy. And so my fancy red dress, see, that's a little red dress. I don't own a red dress, but I own a necklace with a red dress. And where's the other thing? So I wasn't actually wearing this, but I brought it in here to show you, I thought. But maybe there it is. Just talk when I'm not sitting here, guys. Don't mind me. I also made a beaded bracelet out of some of the leftover Dragonfly, the Huckleberry Knits, the sparkly one. And I wear this all the time. I did it backwards, but I have a little heart with gears because that seemed geeky and girly to me. This is from One of a Kind Buttons, which is local to me. She makes ceramic stamped buttons, but then she also does some other little accessories like that. So when I wear it, it taps on my laptop, so I try not to wear it when I'm podcasting. But I wear it often, even when I'm not wearing the shawl, because I like loop bracelets like this. I could wear it as a necklace, but it's kind of stretched out now because I've worn it as a bracelet so many times. So, okay, what else do we have here? Let's go into the happy. Happiness continues. So for holiday stuff, we got out a puzzle and decided that would be a very fun holiday thing to do, would be to work on a puzzle together. And that has been fun. We worked on that a couple different nights, finished listening to one of our books together. And so that has brought me some happiness. And listened to some Christmas music while we did it as well. I brought my ribbon that I used on my Christmas tree up here to show you guys. I attached it to the top of some silver balls just to add a little extra pink shimmer to my Christmas. So I have lots left. I'll have to use it for some other fun stuff. So there's a color of Christmas to follow along last week's theme. Most of all, I've really been trying to spend time being thoughtful, just thinking about the events and activities that I'm doing and trying to perform good self-care beforehand to make sure that I'm not overly tired before I go and do something, and that I can really be ready mentally to have the fun, you know? Just doing a little bit of that extra time beforehand seems to help get me in the mood to really enjoy. So I would suggest, if you are interested in thinking a little bit more about that, spend a little time thinking about the situations, thinking about what things you really want to do so that you can really get the most out of them. I find that when I'm really there and really able to engage my whole self, I get a lot more out of things. So I'll just leave this here for you, and you guys can do with that suggestion what you will. And I think that's going to do it for today. And I know not everyone celebrates Christmas, but that's the holiday that I celebrate. So you got Christmas mentions all the way through. I wish you a happy week if you don't celebrate a holiday right now. And I plan to record again next week, but if things get a little extra busy, there's always a chance that'll be delayed a day or two or what have you. But my plan is to keep up with my weekly schedule even through the holidays, because the holidays didn't fall on Tuesdays, and so I think I can make that work. Oh, so you can follow me around on the internet. I am Christine with a K on Ravelry. I am KDLB, just letters, on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. There is a Ravelry group. We would love for you to join and come introduce yourself. I do need to pass on the introductions, the people that have introduced themselves recently, and I'll get back to that very soon here. And you can find the show notes and everything I talk about at yarningspodcast.com, all squished together. So, until next time, Merry Christmas if you celebrate. That's the story. Bye.